Hello, my astrology friends. This is Lada from Astrolada.com, and today we're going in depth about the first eclipse this year, the March 25th eclipse in the sign of Libra. I will go very in depth about it, looking at the constellations, the signs. We're using tropical degrees, but we're going to also use the constellations and sidereal astrology. It will be probably the most in-depth discussion of what can happen in the world and in your personal life. And we're going to look at certain planets, if it affects, who it is affecting. But I want to let you know that those of you who want to join me and spend with me 5 days from morning to evening, I'm doing a retreat in Bulgaria in May. Around the 19th of May, we're starting. I'll put the link below if anyone. I'll do retreats very rarely, once every 3 years. This will be very personal. We'll discuss personal horoscopes, the coming 10 years, what is the best area for you to go towards, and it's extremely affordable. I've done it as cheap as possible, and it will be in Bulgaria, in the town of Plovdiv. If anyone wants to join me, check out the link below. But now let's start with the eclipse. This eclipse is happening. Let me just start here, if you can see, in the sign of Libra, the first 5 in the 4-5 degrees of Libra. The sun is here at the beginning of Aries. The moon is at 4-5 degrees in Libra. And it's a lunar eclipse with the south node. What does it mean? Some eclipses are caused by the south node, some are caused by the north node. They give different results. When an eclipse is caused by the south node is something to do with the past, something to do with our past life karma. So it's a kind of a very fated eclipse, almost like it's not gonna bring some totally new events for you for the next couple of months. It's more like seeing consequences of previous actions, and those might be actions from this lifetime or from previous lifetime. That's why sometimes it can even feel like a new event, but it's been put into action maybe from a past lifetime. And that's why it can be sometimes like, and it's in the sign of Libra. Libra is relationships, So that can be very important eclipse for meeting kind of karmic relationships, I would call it. Or someone from the past coming back to complete something with you together, something that is unfinished. The South Node is about unfinished business, karma that is not complete, karma that needs to be released, which also leads to another interpretation. It can shake up some relationships, especially relationships who have karmically exhausted themselves. They have fizzled out. They have whatever lessons you had there, you have learned. So this can be a time of separations. And full moon, what is a full moon? This eclipse is a full moon eclipse. Something coming to completion, something reaching its ultimate destination, something giving results. So it can be very positive as well. If a relationship has been at a certain level for a while and it's a good relationship, this eclipse can escalate it for some of you to the next level, engagement, marriage, getting to live together, the next level of commitment, But one phase of the relationship is being left behind and a new phase opens up. It can reach some kind of a ceiling, and it needs to either crest over the wind, the wave, and go down. Certain contracts, certain agreements that you have is not just about marriages and personal relationships, Libra. It's about contracts, agreements that you have, clients that you might have, that you're in a contractual agreement, partners, business partners. So for some of you, it can be the end of certain business partnerships. For others, it can be changing it, taking it to a different level or completion, seeing the result of some collaboration, seeing the result of some contract. And of course, it can be ending of certain contracts as well that avoid, that have fulfilled their mission and they're released, or marriages as well. Anything that is between two people. So very fated with the South Node. It's been put into action before. And the South Node is the spirit working. It's good for your higher self. It's good for your spiritual development. On the external level, as an event, it can feel some kind of lost or some kind of a goodbye sometimes with the South Node. Or like closing a door and a chapter and being relieved and letting go, because the South Node is represented in astrology by the dragon's tail. The dragon's head is the north node, which will be with the sun, but this eclipse is focused on the south node, where what does an animal do through its tail? It excretes, it lets go. So you'll be letting go, very likely, of something and maybe completing it, seeing the results of a partnership. Maybe you did a project together and now you see the results of it, and you're completing something and you're celebrating, or maybe that partnership, relationship, or contract is coming to an end and it's fizzling out and you're letting it go. But also, there was an eclipse 8 years ago on March 2016. And of course, an eclipse is active always a month before, especially lunar eclipse is the most potent a month before. So some of you already are feeling it from even February, early March, till a month or two after that. But usually the main events happen a month before and within a month of the eclipse. So we have March and April this year. And last time in 2016, when there was an eclipse again at this degree, 1 degree away, it was at 5 degrees, as far as I remember, 3 degrees in Libra. It was with the North Node this time. So think back, and March, April, 2016, think back to that time. Did anything happen? It might be coming to a conclusion. It might be giving its fruits. It might be ripening, or it might be ending, or it might be some kind of a repetition similar to that period in your life. 2016, the spring for the Northern Hemisphere, which is recapitulated, which is maybe some consequences of something that happened then come now to fruition, because it's full moon, to give fruit, to come to illumination or to resolution. You might be resolving some problem or something connected to a similar issue as 2016 in the spring. That's exactly the eclipse I met my husband on. And it activated personal planets for me, Jupiter, the planet of husband. Then I left one marriage and went into another within those 2 months. It was crazy. So I hope it's not coming to an end for me. I pray no, but there might be some changes there. But think back, it doesn't necessarily have to be connected with something that happened then. But usually if you have a planet close to around 5 degrees in Libra, 5 degrees in Aries, which are the degrees that will be most strongly affected, I would say even from 3 degrees to 8 degrees. Or if you want even a more expanded orb, the first 10 degrees of Libra, the first 10 degrees of Aries, can have some very life-changing events, because what are eclipses? They're fated events. They're the rails of destiny, and some things are fated to happen. Some people are fated to live our lives, to enter our lives. Some events have to happen. This is usually when eclipses happen and activate a very personal planet of yourself. It might be your sun, it might be your moon, it might be your ascendant. These are the 3 most important. It might be your ascendant ruler. Say if you're Scorpio rising, Mars will be your ascendant ruler. If you're Pisces rising, Jupiter will be your ascendant ruler. If you're Aquarius rising, Saturn will be your ascendant ruler. Do I have Saturn or Jupiter or whatever it is around 5 Libra in the first 10 degrees of Libra Aries? This eclipse can change your life, or your sun, or your moon, or your ascendant degree. Or your Venus, or Mercury, or Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. These are all the important planets. By the way, you can check this. I can show you. You can check this on my free transit calculator that 50,000 people are using it. And it's free for 7 days, constantly renewing itself. You enter for the next 4 or 5 days, you see it free. Then you enter a few days later, you see the free transits that are specific only for you. No one else in the world will have the same transits of you. And this software, this transit calendar, calculates it for you just specifically and shows you. And I've programmed it in such a way that the eclipse will show only if it's within 2-3 degrees, 2 degrees conjunct of any of your planets, which means that your life will not be the same. I'll very quickly share my desktop. Oops. Oh my God. Where is it? That's not me. I'm not watching those things. That's my husband. Okay. I'm not sure if you see it. Here it is. So I went to mine, and it's astrolada.com. I'll put the link below. Personal transit calendar. It's called personal transit calendar. Enter your details. And if you see this, you see lunar on the 25th of March, you can see it this way or that way. Where did I go? Oops. Or you can see here. Usually you'd see it free for a few days. It doesn't go to the 25th, but you can purchase just for $6 to see for a month ahead, or for a whole year, it's $40. And you can see what does it mean to have an eclipse there. If the eclipse is affecting anything in your horoscope, I have opened for myself fully. So example, you click here, there's such a long explanation. By the way, I will package all those, any planet that it might affect for you, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, Venus, and I'll package them with a video just for $6 that you can buy for this eclipse, where I'll speak how the eclipse can affect each of the 12 houses, where I'll go way more in depth there. I'll put a link below if you want this package with all the interpretations, and you have them for life. What does it mean to have a lunar eclipse on any of your personal planets? And you can always check on my software to see if it's affecting you, but you can check ahead. So for example, if it's on Jupiter, you know, there can be a huge change with your wealth, with your Jupiter rules wealth, Jupiter rules husband, Jupiter rules your belief system. There can happen like a total breakdown of your beliefs, abandoning some, because it's South Node eclipse, letting go and being freed from some outdated beliefs that are limiting you about how big you can be. If it's Saturn, that is around those degrees in liberal areas, around 4, 5, or, you know, it can be your structures that you've learned, you know, the things that you consider very stable, but things that you're also very stuck in, that you're very stubborn about. So if Saturn is in your second house, your financial stability might be turned around, or your limitations, self-imposed limitations regarding finances can be broken down. If it's Saturn in your seventh house and the eclipse is falling on it, it might be your marriage or partnerships or relationship. If Saturn is in your 10th house, it can be something to do with bosses and so on. So each of the planets can, if it's on your Mercury, this can be some very important people in your life connected to Mercury, siblings, that there's some very important development of friendships, or something to do with business, with communication, with learning and knowledge that is totally released and let go of, or gives results. Maybe you've been working on some mercurial project, report, writing a book, making a website, some business project. These are all Mercury activities. If your Mercury is there in Aries or Libra, and this eclipse can make you complete this project, see the results of it, or worst case scenario, can give you a mental breakdown because, well, your mental narrative might be falling apart, and which can be good because it can free you from a lot of repetitive mental narrative that is not positive for you as well. So like that, for every planet, I will give you an explanation just for $6 and an extended video, because I don't want to make this video too long. It will be 3 hours if I carry on, but I want to keep talking about this eclipse. What else can it do? I want to look at what star. So I always check what star is the eclipse next to. And this eclipse is right with the star Zaniah. This is something my beloved teacher Trifon Nikolov taught me. And Zaniah is a star in ancient times. First thing that Zaniah is known for is that it's trying to forge negotiations and peace. That's what the ancient book says. Zaniah is a star that tries to make peace dealer. So now I'm wondering, there is an eclipse there. An eclipse can eclipse it, can eclipse peace negotiations and totally break down peace negotiations within the next 2 months. Or is it that the eclipse highlights it and activates this ability to make and forge peace? So I'm wondering, these negotiations, we'll have to watch around the end of March, the beginning of April. Does the war escalate, or are there negotiations? Because there's this very strong accent on negotiations with the star. But it's being eclipsed, that star. So I'm like, oh, what's going to happen? So I'm very curious to see, you know. And of course, Libra is about alliances. Libra is alliances like NATO, like BRICS or whatever. Something big will be happening in regards to such alliances around March, April. Watch this out. Of course, with the South Node, there might be some discord there or falling apart. But this eclipse is also with good aspects. It has only one aspect, and that's trine from Pluto. So we have more hope for positives here because of Pluto's trine, and more hope that it's not going to be destructive, whatever's happening on this field of war areas and peace in Libra. Remember, the first eclipse that happened in Libra was October. And what happened then? Within days, we had the war in Israel and Gaza, that they attacked Gaza and the Palestinians. So I don't know, again, there is an activation of Libra there, but because it's on the star of negotiations, I'm hoping there is some ceasefire. I'm hoping Pluto will also, there will be pressure from powers and hidden vested interests. So Pluto is also the collective pressure from the collective in a positive trine way, which is not destructive. So I'm hoping for some good news there when it comes to, I'm always looking for the positive. But also watch out for things like for all kind of alliances, NATO, the European Union, anything that combines and aligns and is alliances, that there'll be some crisis there. Of course, eclipse can cause a crisis, some big focus on this area, maybe even some kind of alliances falling apart or they having some issues there. But Zaniah, the star that the eclipse is happening on, has a very interesting meaning as well. If you look in the ancient books, it says Zaniah is the adulteress and the harlot. Now we have some other themes here that are more raunchy. And such themes of maybe someone having cheated might be in the news, someone having done something that is sexually explicit, that is sexually, not morally correct, let's say harlot, adulteress, I don't know, something with P that is happening, whatever, but there might be more such themes. We're already in this active period, March and the whole of April, that such things are illuminated, that such things come into the public vision, the public consciousness, become aware about it. And of course, the harlot and the adulteress, actually looking at horoscopes of people who have planets there around 5, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 degrees Libra, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant or any planet, they might have a theme of that in their life, where maybe they were in an affair in a certain point in their life, maybe where they're harloted themselves. It doesn't necessarily mean in a sexual way. It can be in a way where you sold yourself for something, for some immediate gratification. Where, for example, selling, if you have, in your sixth house, Libra, if the eclipse is there, you might be selling yourself for your career. Let's say prostituting yourself for a job that's not really in your heart. And but just because there is immediately to get some money. I'm not saying this is bad. I'm saying it's a theme. If you have any planets there, if you're born with them, that at a certain point in your life, you have to experience this theme of the harlot, of the adulteress. And that's not necessarily in a sexual matter only, but even though I've seen it over and over, they have incredible sexual charisma, such people, and they're tempting. They can really use those charms for, better or worse. It's extremely attractive. People like that can be extremely attractive, and they can use it to seduce others into something good or into something bad, to tempt others, but also they have the theme of being tempted themselves, being seduced, maybe being attracted to people already in relationships, or people in relationships are already attracted to them. So even if you don't have a planet there in your life, but this eclipse is activating this theme of, that maybe something, temptation. I told you, it's like I met my husband and I was still married, but I was not happy. I didn't feel I was happy during eclipse there on Zaniah as well. So, yeah, okay, the adulteress. Oh my God. All right, yeah, makes sense. Well, I'm not saying you'll be doing that, but there might be those themes that come up, uh, that come up for you, that come up as where am I selling myself? Where am I selling my soul and the needs of my soul for some immediate results rather than for the long-term happiness? Or even directly themes of some kind of a relationship like that. But Zaniah also, the word adulteress, it means to adulterate. What is to adulterate? Not to be genuine. So where are you not genuine? This eclipse will really, really make it very clear for you, especially whatever house it activates for you. In the ninth house, your belief system. In the first house, it might be to do with your physical body and the roles that you're playing. Are you putting yourself in situations that are not genuine for you? To adulterate means also to make something impure. And what is the eclipse trying to do with the south node? South node is the area we excrete, because it's eclipse with the south node. We're trying to excrete this impurity with the eclipse, this adulteration to our soul, this thing, to see the result of it if we've been doing it, and to say, okay, it's grown as much as it can, or that's the end of the rope, I'm letting this go. I'm not going to do this anymore, These are some of the other themes that can play out. So, and Pluto is beautifully helping. Pluto is helping with the trine to release whatever this adulteration in you is, whatever is not making you genuine, whatever is making you the harlot in some area of your life. And again, don't take it literally. You can just, where is the adulteration in your life? Where are you selling yourself short, or just for immediate pleasures or immediate gratification? And you can release that. Very powerful eclipse for that, guys. Pluto is detoxing energy. It's making a trine. It happens with ease. You kind of might be your motto, I let go of toxic and impure energies in my life with ease and power. So that's one of the beautiful parts of this eclipse that I think will be, powerful as well. And when we look at the constellations, there's something called lunar nakshatras. By the way, lunar nakshatras and constellations, yes, it's happening in the Libra tropical, but if you look the actual constellations behind where the eclipse is, it's happening in the star Zaniah, it's happening on the left wing of the angel, because the eclipse behind the sign of Libra nowadays is the Virgin, the constellation of the Virgin. The Virgin is indicated with wings, so it's an angel being, it's an angelic being, very pure. We're coming again to the theme of purity, but the star in the left wing of the Virgin is called Zaniah, and it has this quality of saint, because it's in the Virgin, saint, harlot to saint, saint to harlot, a bit of the Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, from harlot to virgin story. And even if you're born with anything around this 5 degrees Zaniah, ascendant and moon, you might have had periods where, not necessarily sexually, again, as I said, you might have sold yourself a certain area in your life, sold yourself short, sold yourself for less, where you adulterated yourself, made yourself inauthentic and impure, or life made you like that, not that you go out of your way to make yourself impure. Usually it's hard circumstances, but also there is the story of redemption, because it's, in the wing of the Virgin, it's angel energy. And this star is strongly, when I've checked so many horoscopes, strongly associated with the story of redemption, starting from this impurity, adulteration, being raised to the purity of the Virgin and the angel. So Mary Magdalene's story. And even if, I know there's historical data that she was not very likely a harlot. Sorry, I'm just giving you that story as an example of the principle. So you have this opportunity now to go from the Harlot to the Virgin to purify and so on. But I want to tell you another layer behind, because there is another constellation. And the ancient Vedic seers, they saw it, they called it Hasta, it's called lunar mansion. It's very important because the moon is causing this eclipse. So, and the lunar mansion, and the symbol of that constellation Hasta, there are 10 degrees, those constellations, 12, those Vedic ones, is the hand. And they said that this is extremely skillful, the hand, which very, this is where our skill, the hand is where our skill is concentrated in. So Vedic text says extremely good to succeed with projects, this constellation, the project that you're doing with your own skill, with your own talent, with your own creativity, with your own hands. So artsmen, craftsmen also have powerful planets around those degrees very often. Any people of art, of craft, or any people of brilliant intelligence. They call that area of the sky brilliant, illuminating intelligence. So we here see another possible manifestation, despite the Zaniah whore to angel and saint one themes that we might see. It's this theme of using your intelligence, but and by the way, the god that rules that constellation is the rising sun, not the sun in the middle of the day at dawn, is the sun at dawn, sunrise. So it's this very illuminating, it's this very awakening energy that this Hasta has. And again, the star Zaniah, because we're all at certain period of our soul journey. We have sold our soul. We have prostituted our soul because we are asleep. Why? Of ignorance. And this is the story again, where the first ray of the sun at sunrise wakes you up, illuminates you, and shows you the light. Because the constellation Hasta is ruled by the rising sun in Vedic ancient astrology. It brings awareness, and it brings understanding and brilliant intelligence and inspiration. It's now you get an answer to a question. And what is the eclipse doing with the south node? It's removing the klipa. It's removing whatever is covering your eyes to see the first rays of the sun, whatever is keeping you in ignorance, whatever is keeping you in this subservient, prostituting yourself position, inauthentic of your soul. And it's this, you have a rare chance now with this eclipse to let in from whatever area in your horoscope is happening. For someone it will be in the 8th house of traumas. They can have some revelation that the god of the sunrise, which is the most pure, the most spiritually powerful energy, is the first ray of the sun, the first light of the sun. People from all cultures knew it. That's why they were always meeting the sun. That's the first one of the first spiritual things. If you want to achieve spiritual awakening, is to watch the sunrise. Nothing else. No meditations. No, okay, in a meditative state, watch it. It's enough through the eyes to activate the pineal gland. If you catch the first ray, the first 1 minute of the sunrise only, that you don't have to watch it for 20 minutes. But if you catch the first one, there's something that we're created this way, that this will awaken our pineal gland. So I see here this powerful impulse for awakening through the god of this constellation that the eclipse is happening. It's being eclipsed, the light is being eclipsed for a little bit, and then suddenly rising, and it's like, wow, I know, awareness, recognition, understanding, brilliant intelligence. And of course, for some people, it can mean the completion of some arts or crafts projects, of some project where they used a lot of their intelligence, a lot of their personal skills to see the answers to complete this project. So there is this powerful element of awakening, powerful element of also releasing the ignorance and letting in the light and getting answers. So I think, yeah, if you connect to the energies of this eclipse, you'd be very blessed. Of course, always I have to warn you, if it affects your sun, moon, or ascendant, or personal planet up to Saturn, from it can create a crisis initially. It can create a crisis. This crisis is used as an awakener again, to shake you up from this role of ignorance into enlightenment, to shake you into this role of changing something. And again, remember what the purpose of this eclipse is. The purpose is purification on one level, moving from the role of the harlot to the role of the saint or the angel. On another level, it's about completion, seeing results. It's about also themes of purifications. It's themes of awakening and overcoming ignorance in some way because of this highly intelligent constellation of the hand Hasta and of this first rays of the sun of brilliant intelligence. So again, if you'd like, I'm going to pass through all the 12 signs on my website. I'll put the link below if you want to watch the full extended video for just $5 or $6, I think it is. Plus, I'll give you a list with in-depth description of what it means to have lunar eclipse conjunct any of your personal planet if it happens to be within those 4 or 5 degrees of Libra within, I would say, from 2 degrees in Libra to 8 degrees in Libra, people will be strongly affected. Hopefully this was a good summary, and those of you who want to hear the houses, check out the link below.